Welcome to Talk of the Town right here on C19 TV. I'm Tim Foster. So great to have you along this week. And hey, are you ready to play ball? You know, when you think about August, you think about back to school in Cleveland County high school football, but maybe the premier event, of course, the American Legion World Series. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And it's so great to have Adrienne Hamrick, Marketing Communications Specialist with the American Legion World Series. Adrienne, welcome.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So great to have you. And of course, Kim Davis, who's the coordinator for the American Legion World Series Festival that is right around the corner. Kim, great to have you as always.
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking, we've got the whole show focused today on the American Legion World Series and the American Legion World Series Festival. And Kim, folks may have heard me say American Legion World Series Festival. Now that's a little bit different from what we've heard, you know, with over the last few years. Some people may remember through the years, 7th Inning Stretch Festival. So let's focus on the festival, Kim. We're going to start out with you, talk about the change and some of the changes related to that in Uptown this year.
Well, the big thing was making sure it connected to the series and not just to the festival. So changing the name was an important part for the 10th anniversary. We started in 2013.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
We had 3 regional bands and about 2,500 people. And it went
Wow.
from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Last year, it was 3 to 10, and this year it's 10 to 10.
So yeah, so tremendous growth and even longer.
Right.
The event's longer.
It's, I always get the 3 words. There's 3 L words that we use: longer, louder,
Yeah.
Larger.
larger.
I think we've got a graphic about that, yeah, that Bill will be putting up in a minute when we see some information and some logos relating to the American Legion World Series Festival. There it is, longer, larger, louder, and it really is, because it's going to be an unbelievable day. Let's talk about the preparation and how you guys, it's almost here, Kim, how you're getting ready for this event.
Well, I think we've all been getting ready for it since last September, and we've had committee meetings since January, and that's the big thing, having other people that are putting their time in and getting invested in the festival. It takes more than one person or one
Yeah.
team. I think we have over maybe 30 staff, about 30 staff working the day of the festival, and it does begin early. Luckily, we're bringing the Little Miss ALWS pageant back
Oh,
to
okay.
Uptown Shelby,
Yeah,
and it will open the show at 10 a.m.
very neat.
and it'll be on Marion at Lafayette.
Yeah, and let's make that switch. Let's go ahead and talk about parking, because I think we've got a graphic relating to parking on that. Now, there will be, I'm assuming, some streets closed that day, obviously, Kim, and we're seeing a festival parking map there. Talk a little bit about that and what folks can expect that day.
Yeah, parking is premier that day, but we do have the festival closed down. We have barriers so people can't bring their vehicles in. Most of our community is very gracious. If they have a parking lot, they're letting us use it. The churches are letting us use theirs. And it ends up being okay. It's not what you would think. With that many people in Uptown, it really is still, there's still parking available.
Sure, sure. And we'll talk about community, that word community throughout. And I want to get both of you to get a quick thought about this. Andrew, well, let's take a little break, and we're going to get back to Kim and talk about the festival, but how is the community, talk about how important it is for this event each and every year.
Absolutely. Not only do we have over, I think we last count for just the World Series in general was 961 volunteers, I think was my last count.
Wow.
And I know we count on those at the festival as well. And people don't realize how many people it takes for every small aspect, whether it's putting out a barrier, marking a parking space, even just showing up to help people load in their booth. I don't think people realize the small details that it takes
Yeah.
for all the volunteers involved.
And
then
yeah.
Uptown Shelby, all those merchants, I believe, are going to help embrace the festival this year and put out the word and try to stay open longer and be a part of it as well.
Yeah, and that's so crucial, Adrienne. And Kim, I think you would echo those sentiments, right?
Exactly. And one of the things is we try to be careful about the kind of vendors we bring, because we don't want to take business away from Uptown Shelby, and we do want to encourage them to be a part of the event. And so that's why we're real careful with our vendors. The day does start at 10, and then we have music on the secondary stage starting at 1.
Yeah, let's talk about some of your artists, because there's been a few little changes to that. You know, you've got a couple different stages now. And I say that because in years past, you may have had just one feature artist for the event. This year, you're going to have a variety of really great artists. Talk a little bit about that.
This is the third year we've done the secondary stage,
Okay.
and we've moved it because each time we're like, this is not good exposure. So we've moved it at Marion and Lafayette, and we'll have it catty-cornered to the stage, toward the court square, and that will help with the exposure for it. And we do start with Mason Cole that day. He's a regional person, just graduated high school, and is traveling the Southeast.
Yeah.
And then we have Fallen 42. They're a contemporary Christian band with a fiddler, which is interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
Then Bailey Marie, who's out of Gastonia, but is a singer-songwriter that's working
Yeah,
out in Nashville as well.
Yeah, really interesting story with Bailey. Some people may have seen in the news that, that she was playing in one location, maybe got herself in some trouble related to that, but it really wasn't, depending on, was it, trouble, should that have happened? Anyway, we want folks to go check out the store. We unfortunately don't have time to get into the whole thing, but I'm really glad you got Bailey coming, Kim.
Yeah, we're excited about Bailey. I've seen her in a couple of different venues. She actually was at the 5K 2 years ago.
Okay.
And sang her Heroes song that she had written for first responders.
Yeah.
So that was our first exposure to Bailey, and then we've seen her in concert a couple of times. She is a very gracious young lady.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of law enforcement, I think you're going to have like a K-9.
We're having two
Yeah, and I
K-9
think-
demonstrations.
Okay.
We're having City of Shelby's K-9 and Cleveland County Sheriff's Department K-9.
Awesome.
So people love that. They
Yeah.
love seeing the dogs. It's really a good way for people to see the dogs when they're not chasing them.
Yeah, see them on a more friendly environment.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Right. And then obviously you got more artists as well, right?
Right, and then we finish the secondary stage, which is the North Point sponsoring for us this year. We finish it with a Beatles tribute band.
Oh, well, neat.
Yeah, they're called the Tangerine Trees.
Yes.
Not sure where that name came from.
Well, that's going to get a lot of people exciting. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the main stage opens at 6 with Vinyl Junkies. They're a regional out of South Carolina band. And then Cooper Allen is,
Yeah, and I think we got a picture of Cooper that we'll see here in a
Yeah.
minute. There he is, and he's going to be, he's really good.
we're hoping that with the array of music we have this year, that it will be a completely family. Any time of the day, somebody's going to have something they like at the festival.
Yeah.
Which Cooper, of course, is around 7:30, just depending on changes. And then the big one is Craig Morgan.
Yep, and I think we've got a picture of Craig that we'll see. There he is right there. Tell us a little bit about Craig, Kim.
We actually saw him 2 years ago in a very small venue, and he is one of the best storytellers with his music that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
And he is a member of the National Guard, and he's very supportive of our military, and that's why he's doing it. It has nothing to do with Shelby.
Yeah.
It has to do that this is all about our military, and he is very supportive.
And of course, that's a big part of the American Legion World Series each and every
right.
year. As later in the interview and the show today, we'll talk about that and some of the days that are related to that. So, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. will be the event. Of course, there's going to be vendors out there, and of course, we're excited here at Cleveland Community College because we're going to have Yetiville that's a part of that, and we're going to kind of have a whole section where you can learn all about the college. There's the logo related to that, and Kim, we're really excited with that partnership this year.
Well, we actually met with the team recently, and they're excited. I mean, it's going to be a long day, but just exposing our community to what the college has to offer. But the college is also providing activities,
Yes.
which makes the festival more engaging as well. And getting to meet the athletes. Kids always enjoy meeting athletes, no matter what level they're at. And so the college has become a good partner for this year. They're actually helping with our barriers
Yeah.
with vehicles. Of course, that's exposure with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But we're very appreciative of that partnership for this year and hope that it will continue to grow.
I know we've got a graphic that we'll bring up, but if folks want to find out more, there is a website on the festival, correct?
It's alwsfestival.us.
So ALW, and you see it on the screen, alwsfestival.us.
Right.
I think on that, and we may have .com, but it's actually .us to check that out. So if you're planning to come, get there early. And like you said, there's going to be something going on all day.
All day.
There's going to be plenty of food, and make sure you stay hydrated. But it is really a great day, all day long for not only you but the whole family, right, Kim?
Correct. And everything's free except what you eat or any trinket you want to buy, which was the whole purpose behind the festival, was to thank our community for being how gracious they are when our visitors come to town. But
Yeah.
the big thing is there is something from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. for everybody. We're doing yoga on the square. We had done that years ago. We brought that back.
Yeah.
But the thing we haven't talked about is our strolling activities.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
We have baseballs that will be running around, and it's very cute.
That's very neat. Yeah.
We
Get a
have-
picture with a baseball.
Yeah. We have the Abbott and Costello routine, who's on first,
I know.
several times through the day.
That's and we're seeing that right there. This is Sigmund, and Caleb does some neat stuff. But this is pretty fun. I've heard some good things about this.
Yeah, so they actually tailored what they're bringing to Shelby for us. So they had to go through some costume makes and everything, and we're very good at what they do. So we have the baseballs, Abbott and Costello, then we have stilt walkers that are going to be dressed up like baseball players.
Okay.
And then we have living statues. I think that's all the ones they're bringing.
Wow. And
Yeah.
this will be all around
They will walk throughout the
event.
festival, except
Yeah.
for the statues. Now the statues
Well, yeah.
will be placed one
Yeah,
place.
they won't do too much walking. Yeah, that'll
No.
be you go to them. Yeah.
And so it's going to be good because even if you don't like to get in the crowd of the stage or whatever, there's going to be activities you can view on the court square. We have reduced the number of tents we're putting on the court square to enlarge the viewing area for
Yeah.
the concert. In the past, we've had tents all up on the court square, and since we added Marion Street, we don't have to put them on the court square, and our sponsors are able to sit and watch the show from their tent that are on the court square.
Wow. Yeah, very neat. And again, as we wind down, but we're getting ready to take a break, but just talk about the growth again, Kim. You mentioned that 2,500 people in 2013, and here we are. You guys are expecting, what, 20 to 25,000 people possibly?
Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah.
We did, I think our highest number was 25,000, and that was when Charlie Daniels was
Yeah.
here. And so that was a great show, and everybody could see or hear the show. And everybody's like, "You're doing it in Uptown?" Yes, we're doing it in Uptown because the city of Shelby supports us. And so from 2,500 or 2,300 in 2013
Yeah.
to our 10th anniversary in 2024, we're expecting at least 25 minimum. And we could not do it without our community. We could not do it without our sponsors, the people that are bringing activities, the vendors that are coming.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
It is. There's over 150 things on the map this year.
Wow.
And that doesn't include the Roman things. So it's going to be big.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. American Legion World Series Festival, Saturday, August 10th. It's almost here, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Kim, you stay here. Adrian, you stay here, because when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, you stay around. We're going to talk about the games itself, and we may get back to the festival a little bit. You're watching Talk of the Town. We're talking American Legion World Series, and we're back right after this.
Hey, I'm David Allen, back as Armchair Quarterback host.
I'm Guy Suttle from C19 TV Sports.
And I'm Rob Rook from KTCBroadcasting.com.
What's in store on the gridiron? Each week we look at all four Cleveland County High School football teams, Burns, Crest, Kings Mountain, and Shelby. We will look at what happened the week before and look ahead at what's coming up this week.
And we'll also discuss ACC, SEC, and Gardner-Webb college football.
And of course, the NFL and those Carolina Panthers.
So don't miss another great season of football right here on Armchair Quarterback on C19 TV and online at c19.tv.
Tune in to Senior Moments here on C19 TV. I am Jackie Sibley Newton with Terabella Assisted Living. Whether you are a senior planning for your own future or helping someone make decisions, Senior Moments has got information to share. We talk about the wealth of services, activities, and healthy living options available to you here in our area. That's Senior Moments on C19 and also on C19.tv.
Today I'd like to make everyone aware of the risk of skimmers. First, let me tell you what a skimmer is. A skimmer is a device that is often installed at a gas pump that is used to steal credit card information. When you use your card at the pump, a skimmer is disguised to look like a card reader and collect both card and PIN numbers that can be used to replicate and create counterfeit cards. Now let me tell you some of the best practices to protect yourself from skimmers at the pump. Always ensure that the tamper tape at the pump you're using is intact. Skimmers are installed inside the pump housing, and this tape ensures that the pump has not been opened. Always try to use the pump closest to the entrance to the store. Skimmers are often installed at the pump furthest from the store and the camera systems. Pay inside whenever possible. Cover a pin pad when entering your PIN number to protect against pinhole cameras.
Thank you for staying with us on Talk of the Town. Tim Foster back with you, and so great to have Adrian Hamrick and Kim Davis as we are talking about the American Legion World Series and the American Legion World Series Festival. Ladies, welcome back. Welcome back at home. And Kim, we left out a couple of things. There's a couple other parts of the festival.
There is a huge kids zone this year. Normally we have a few inflatables, games kids can play. We have the entire street of Washington from Marion to Warren with kids zone. But then we have half of Marion Street to Washington with kids. We've got a Ferris wheel this year.
Oh, wow, you got the Ferris wheel, yeah.
In the past, the inflatables and stuff had been more for the younger. This covers the entire family. You can get on the Ferris wheel if you're 80 or 8.
Sure.
And so the kids zone is tremendous. And again, everything in there is free for the kids to do and for the adults now.
Well, it'll be awesome. ALWSfestival.us.
Correct.
To find out more information. Now, let's talk, Adrian Hamrick, about the games. Hey, August 15th through the 20th, starting August 15th, there's going to be 8 teams from regions all over the United States coming in. Everybody knows, and it's such a big event because they're playing for a national championship.
That's right.
So let's talk about, and one of the things I love each day of the World Series here in Shelby at Veterans Field, Keeter Stadium, are the themes, and that won't be changing this year.
Will not.
So let's talk a little bit about as the players, teams come into town, we start playing baseball.
We do. On Thursday, it's the first day of the games. It's a full day. We have 4 games that day.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's Senior Citizens Day.
Cool.
So you will see, usually they come out at the 10 o'clock game. It's the first game of the day. We have a 10 o'clock, a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, and a 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And they'll come out, you'll see them come out and sit under the big old tent and the big old shade and the fan and watch those first games.
We love those fans.
That's right. Big fans.
Big fans,
Yes.
big, We won't get into that. It's cable, but we won't get into
That's
that.
right.
And by the way, I love your logo. I think we've got
thank you. Yes,
we've got a graphic of that logo that will
that's
pop
the new
up in the World
branding
Series.
that they picked up a couple years ago.
Love the look this year.
Very patriotic is what I say.
All right, what about Friday the 16th?
Friday is Salute to Academic Achievement Day. We have 2 games, one at 4 and one at 7. And that day I think is special because Gardner Webb will bring their full band out. And I think they're going to play from the stands. So that'll be a great change for people to watch as part of one of the opening ceremonies.
Right. And then we head into the weekend.
Saturday is always USAA Military Appreciation Day.
Yes.
So I always like to thank our veterans that come out. We recognize them. We'll have free hats again this year for our veterans and some coins.
Wow.
Yep. For the next day is First Responders Day.
Awesome.
Salute to Healthy Living. That's on Sunday.
Yes.
So we really appreciate our first responders in our community and do everything that we can to promote them and thank them at the World Series as well.
Yeah, and then that leads, if my memory serves me correct, Adrian, right into semifinal Monday.
Yes.
It's down to 4 teams at that point. Talk about Monday, which at
It's
this point
crunch
will
day.
be the 19th.
Yes, if youth athletic day.
Yeah.
So any youth athletes that wear their jersey get in the gate free. So
Cool.
kids love that. You'll see a lot of kids that day.
Yes.
They love to come out and watch the teams that are left battle it down. And we have 2 games that day, 4 and 7.
Yep. And then the winners go to the national championship game
That's
on
right.
Tuesday.
Championship Tuesday.
Yeah, but it's amazing.
Yep, and I forgot to mention, we also, before the games, we have T-28 Warbirds this year.
Oh, okay.
They'll be doing flyovers every day. And that's always fun for kids to watch the kids look up in the sky and see those planes come through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we also have the Golden Knights returning this year. They do the jumps from the plane and bring out the baton and the ball from the sky. And they'll be jumping out on Military Appreciation Day on Saturday and then on Championship Day.
Yeah. Now, I think Bill, our producer, Bill Harrelson, I want to thank Bill a lot. I think we got a picture of the Parade of Champions from last year. And
Oh, yeah.
talk a little bit, and I think he's going to bring that up, but as he does, talk about this event, either one of you, and how big this event is.
Yeah, Parade of Champions is always the first day before the last Game 4. That starts at 7:30. And that is the first time that the whole community gets to see all the teams on the field at
All
the
8
same time.
teams.
All 8 teams.
Yeah.
So the hosts, each team has a host family. I don't know if everybody knows that, but that takes care of them all week long, whether it's washing their laundry.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes, feeding them on their off days, finding them activities to do when they're not playing ball.
Yeah.
So they'll be let out on the field by their host families, and they line up on the diamond, and it's amazing to see all the teams at one time to congratulate and welcome them to Cleveland County.
Kim, I always think it's so neat that we get a team maybe from, let's say, the Pacific Northwest or California or the Midwest that has never tried certain foods here.
It
And
is.
talk a little bit about that. I always think, everybody thinks liver mush, maybe that's one thing.
That is
But
one
that
thing.
literally happens sometimes. Talk about these relationships with these families.
Well, the relationships build between the families and their hosts, but also their bat boys and bat girls and shaggers.
Yeah, yes.
And their little miss. And so it is a community welcoming them in. And they do want us to try our culture. And Hawaii, I always think about Hawaii.
Yes.
And when they were here a few years, and they always wanted to try whatever. But liver mush is one of the things. Tomato sandwich with Duke's mayo.
Duke's Mayo, of course.
Chick-fil-A, I forget.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have.
Chick-
yeah,
Chick-fil-A is
Chick-fil-A
not everywhere.
It's not, everybody thinks it is.
I
but
forget that too. When
It
there's
is
like,
in the South, but not
Yes.
necessarily in the Midwest or the West.
Zaxby's, I think too. I hear
Yeah.
a lot of teams.
Yes.
One thing
They
that-
like the Zaxby's
yeah,
visits.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
One thing that always amazed me when Hawaii was here was their host family took them to Moss Lake and they did like tubing.
Oh, wow.
And you would think an island would not, they have the most beautiful island, but something about Moss Lake, those boys would just talk about. We don't have this kind of activities in Hawaii, and things that we take for granted
Right.
that we think, they
Yeah.
live in Hawaii.
Absolutely.
But the small things that they get to do with their host families just leave a lasting impression.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the impact of being able to have the American Legion World Series here. And Kim, let's go back a little bit more as well. A lot of people, maybe forget the team years ago that went. I think it was at St. Louis, some part of the Midwest, to get that contract to get them
Indianapolis.
here. It was Indianapolis. Thank you,
Yes.
Adrian, because that was an amazing story within itself, and that's
Well,
going back over a decade ago, right?
That was 2008 is when we started the bid.
Yeah, almost 15 years ago, a
Yeah,
little more.
and the Orange Crush
Sea
went
Orange,
to
yeah.
Indianapolis,
Yeah.
and there were over 100 people on buses that rode for 8 to 9 hours on
Yeah.
those buses to promote our community.
And made their pitch.
That's right.
Right. And
Literally, yeah.
The thing was that they saw if we can bring that many people to Indianapolis, how many people are going to help support it when it gets to Shelby? And within 15 minutes of the buses rolling out to come back to Shelby, the call came in.
Wow, something really amazing.
Yeah.
So, Adrian, if folks want tickets or they want to go online and find out, how can
Yes,
they
sir.
do that?
Yes, they can go online and buy tickets now at alws.us.
Okay.
Those are general admission tickets. They're $35 every game, every day they can get in. Or if they just want to do day tickets, they can buy those at the gate.
So you can get a pass for every game for the 15th to the 20th of August, or just a daily pass, or a game day pass, or I'm assuming you can go right to the stadium and get your
You
tickets
can.
as well,
Yep,
right?
right at the ticket booth.
Yeah.
We always have somebody at the ticket booth ready, and souvenir stand, of course, is a big thing.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You got
Oh,
you
yeah.
got souvenir stands. You know, you talked about concessions, Kim, at the festival, but there's going to be a ton of concessions as well as part of the World Series every day, right?
And there are going to be new foods on the concourse this year that haven't been there before.
Really?
There'll be more options. So I think people will not leave the stadium hungry.
No, there'll be plenty of options, plenty of
Yeah.
beverages,
Oh,
plenty
yes.
plenty of good food. One of the other things I always love about the series each year is those that the Bat Boys and Bat Girls
Oh,
who put in,
absolutely.
because this starts like literally when one ends.
That's right.
You know, people. Sometimes it takes months, right, to hear back if
Yes.
you're going to be a bat, because there's just so much excitement when a bat boy or bat girl finds out they're going to be there, right, Adrian?
Yes, so this year we had almost triple the applications online than we had last year.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, and so we decided we host the App State Wake Forest game this year at Keter
Yeah,
Stadium.
back in April, right?
In April.
Yeah.
So we drew live with our new mascot Al.
Okay.
We drew live on the field for those bat kids, so people could see and be part of the action instead of us just calling and saying that you were chosen. So we put all the names in a hopper and they spun it out and they drew all the Bat Boys and Shaggers and alternates that day at the ballpark. And they got the phone calls and they get their jerseys and they get so excited to be a part of the teams. And then, like you said, the teams actually make them their families. And
Wow.
they keep in contact with each other. And it's just one of those things that it's a privilege to be chosen as a Bat kid.
It really is. We got about a minute and a half left, Kim, and I just want to end talking about the volunteers. Without the volunteers, this event, there's no way it could be possible to talk about the volunteers,
There is
Kim.
no way it would be possible. There's a core group, and those core groups build their teams in such a way that it will be like there's nothing going on behind the scenes. It's just a well-oiled machine. Everything looks great.
You don't even see them a lot of times, I've noticed.
Yeah, but they always, if they see somebody that looks like they're looking for something, there's somebody that will ask them, "Are you okay? Can I help you find something?" The volunteers are the cornerstone for this event because they did start in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really been the core from the start.
Yeah.
Right. So, without that base, the volunteers have grown and people of new generations are starting to volunteer, which is great. So even some of the younger kids, if their parents are volunteering, they bring them along.
Well, it's going to be an amazing event. American Legion World Series Festival, August 10th, right in Uptown Shelby. Don't miss it. And then American Legion World Series Baseball, Veterans Field, Keter Stadium, August 15th through the 20th. It's just going to be an amazing, really, 10 days. I call it 10 days. I know there's a break in there.
Not really.
But not for you two. It's not much of a break. But Adrian, Kim, we'll see you at the festival. We'll see you at the games.
sir.
Thanks for being on Talk of the Town.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
It's so great to have you. And remember, story ideas, they sit on your screen, info at c19.tv. Go check out the festival. Go check out American Legion World Series Baseball. And we'll see you next week on Talk of the Town.